This tutorial is about doing some weaponry, and what I thought would be nice would be to use the model that we used for last month to create this kind of arachnid. Well, I called it a leader, I think, but it's basically a kind of a large science fiction kind of arachnid boss, and give him some weaponry. So how we would do that is, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sketch out what I think the weaponry should look like, and I'll make this model available actually through my website, and I'll put some links in the video now where you can get it, so you can start from this exact same level and have a play with it. But what I'll do is I'll resketch how I want his arms to be, and I want weapons. I want rocket launchers and a weapon of like a cyber weapon on this side of him here. So I like to have it all mirrored. So with Gravity Sketch, it's good to have it all the parts that you want to move, like this group now, it's good to have it all grouped. So on your non-dominant hand, use the purple button and then group it. And as you can see now, I've left a bit behind there. So red button, pick up everything, and purple, and now it's one group. Now we can use that, we can use parts of that, or what we could do is we could go straight in and just sketch it. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll put that up here so it's out of the way, and we'll make a new layer. So blue button, new layer. Got lots of layers in there already. Go new layer, and on that layer what we'll do is we will just sketch out what we think we want in terms of the weaponry. So it's going to be two things really. So well, three things. So one, I was thinking we might like some kind of rocket launcher up here. So something that comes out of his back, and something that has some sort of like serious power for launching maybe a rocket or a missile or something like that we'll design, and that'll come out here like this. Maybe get some nice fins on it, a bit old-fashioned science fiction-y. And then we'll make some kind of a carriage that will come on the back here that will link to the main body. So we'll have a think about that once we get beyond the sketch stage. I can put mirroring on, so settings and mirror. So we could do arms, support arms up here, some kind of a rotational thing, so it could go up and down. You want it to be able to go up and down here, and then it would come out here, and then maybe two different tubes, and then the rocket in the middle. Something along those lines. You can see how rough and sketchy it is. It isn't even brilliant from the top. You can pick these up and move them if you want to get the volumes right. So that's working well. Now what about the weaponry on his arms? So if we've got the rocket launcher there, it'd be good to have two smaller, like 50mm cannons here. So we'll put the arms back in, so they go back. But on the arms we'll have quite large weaponry, and I think two repeating so like cannons that have multiple parts like this, like maybe 6 or 7 parts like that, and then lots of cabling, because obviously why wouldn't you want cabling? So as you've seen from previous videos, hopefully, or if you haven't, go and check out Southern GFX and you'll find all of these on there. But it's good to just sketch it out as simply as that. So go back to your layers, make that semi-transparent, and now we can actually block it out again on another layer if it helps. And what we'll do is we'll use this tool, and we'll only do this for a minute. So this is the volume tool, and we could say you just literally pull the volumes that you want. We could say that arm, nice big assembly there to make this weapon work here. And then you're going to have all of these, which will be done as separate. So we'll do that as a separate thing, some kind of really crazy looking, like a Bren gun kind of effect. Lots of volume there, big shoulder, and then this thing here. So it'd be as simple as that really. And the rocket we're going to have like this. So you can see how easy that is to do. We're making like a spider rocket launcher with this weaponry. So I've already worked out, just with those few little bits and bobs, I've worked out exactly how I want it to look. So we can dive straight in and start making the parts. So I think what we'll do is we'll have a look at, I think we might even, thinking about removing some of these limbs, simply because I want to ease the memory down a little bit. We'll keep one of the legs in case we need it, and we'll keep those, and we'll keep the body. Maybe this could be in a bit so it doesn't affect the weaponry as much. And there you go. We can always put these legs back. There's not a problem when we're saving the file anyway. So I'm quite happy with that. Overall, it's given me exactly what I want straight away. So I'm going to make some of the major components first of all. So I'm going to go in and use this tool, which is the revolve tool. I'm going to get it dead on the center of symmetry. I'm going to turn mirror off because I don't want two of them. I'm just going to make a rocket, so I'm going to make it with the orange. I'm going to start way out here and I'll bring it forward. Didn't do orange for some reason. There we go. So just make sure, as I didn't do, that you've got points on, and that just makes it easy to click. And as I'm laying down the points, you can see the rocket coming to life straight away. Just put some drops in it like that. I've made it a lot bigger because we're going to scale it down, so don't worry about that. Made it in two parts now. There you go. And then we're not going to need that for a while. So what we'll do is we'll go on to the tool we're going to use next volume, and we'll bring this rocket down. We'll group it so we know we've got it grouped. I'm going to use that straight away. So let's go in and make that transparent as well. So now you can hardly see it, and we'll actually make the sketch completely transparent. So all we've got is a suggestion now of where everything's going. So now look, I've made a bit of a mistake there. So what I've done is I've made the rocket on the same layer as the volume test that we did. Now it's not a huge problem because as we decide which bits we want, we can just delete those bits out. Let's move this completely out of the way. So yeah, as we find exactly the right components to go in, we'll just remove the ones that we don't want. So that's looking good straight away. So we'll work on this bit next, which is this back bit here. So we'll remove that out, and we'll do this with subdivision modeling. So we'll take a cube, a subdivision model and cube, bring it into the scene. No, we won't, because we didn't put mirror back on. So mirror, cube. Cube's always a good one to start with. If you're not sure, just do a cube. Bring the whole thing together. Snap it into the center, and then we'll just start making the shape that we want. Remember, it's subdivision model in here, so we're going to smooth this, so you'll see what I mean. If you don't know what I mean, you'll see in a moment. So what it means is if I hit this button, it shows you the rounded effect, so that's it subdivided. And if you want harder edges, you can either do what I'm about to do, which is to add extra splits, which will give you that rounding, or you can do a crease now, which I'll show you at the end. And we just want to work out how this back end's going to work. I'm just putting different splits in where I think that the weapon can benefit from it. And then where I want it slightly harder edged, as you're about to see, I'll put some splits in. So I'll put one in there, one in there, and one in there, and that'll give me a nice tight corner around here. And I'll put one here, one in here, here, and here, and you can see why in a moment, because I'm going to extrude this out and then extrude it in, and that means when we subdivide it, you can see it's just showing like paneling quite well. That always looks cool on a on something of this nature. So paneling just makes it look very sci-fi. Make sure we're back on the center line. I think that rocket, I think we'll have a bank of smaller ones on the back here. Make it like a rocket launcher. Get all three together. So to do multiples like that, you grab them and you just hit fire with your trigger, and that gives you that looks great for like a bank of rockets on the back of the main rocket. So we'll move this away now, and we'll go back to the grey, and we're going to use this tool, which is the volume tool. You must go back and have a look at the older one if you don't know some of these tools, because these are the ones that will really help you to make the shapes that you want. So again, volume, point mode, and this is going to let us draw shapes quite simply. So I'm just going to build up some simple shapes first of all for the support, and this is going to be the thing that, like so. Make sure you're on planar mode now, because we're going to do lots of complex bits and bobs now. So on planar mode you can just do this, which is as you hit your points you go back on yourself, and it will fill that volume in. You'll see what I mean in 1 second. There you go. So this is how you make like components. So if I wanted that arm to be there like that, and that's held on like this, it's almost like Greeble really. It just gives you, which is Greeble is like this stuff that they made on the Death Star to make it look really visually interesting. So it's just one of these at each level. A lot of this is very much based in doing concepts, so you're not mechanically, you're not at any point trying to say that this will work mechanically. It's just got to look good for the time that it's being used, really. So let's do another one of those. Just going to use this as a kind of a grid to make like a framework. As you can see there. So I'll use that quite a lot now in here. Put one of them in each layer and frame it across the side here. And then we'll use it like this. And it's giving us kind of really cool visual interest in the middle there. I'm just going to move this arm down a bit. We know exactly what we want here on the arm, so it's absolutely fine. So we'll group it as well, so it can just be deleted in one big go. We want a lot of visual interest down here, so we'll do a couple of these things, which are like large wheels. Or cogs or anything like that would help make it look like it's an actual rotating part. What we will do is we'll change it to another grey, so that we know that when we send it out for render it can be separated by those greys. And I'll make even another grey, and that'll give us kind of like aluminium or something like that. I just want to make sure there's enough of those everywhere. And it's starting to look, you can pretty much see that it looks visually interesting already. So we've hardly done any time on it at all yet, but we're getting somewhere with the look straight away. Now let's just do another one of those, but we'll change it to black this time. And what we'll do is turn mirror off for a second. But we can't because we've already made it on mirror, so we'll make another one instead. This is almost like we want almost like a stripe down the rocket. Just makes it look a little bit different. We might put one on the main rocket. And we'll match this kind of look on the arms, on the guns, on the arms as well, so that we know that we're keeping a visual style. Use the same one but made it smaller, and we'll put another one up here. There you go. And we'll group those together. That looks great. Now what I will do is I always put lots of pipe work in just to make sure it looks. I'm going to do it in one piece. Notice how I'm not stopping. That means it's not going to be separate pieces. There you go. It just gives us that bit of interest underneath, and we'll do some coming from down here as well. And because it's not mirrored as well, it kind of looks, oh, look at that, they weren't right, were they? I hadn't looked at it from multiple angles, so it didn't look quite right. Move that out of the way. I'm just going to take some photographs at this level. So to take a photograph, you go up here, just take it from all different angles. These look good if you save them along the way. That's quite a wide angle one there. We probably won't need that so much. So what you can do is you can use pre-existing parts and do like a kit bash. So you can get all these from the model if you want to have a go at this. Let's get rid of the photographs. And what we'll do, we'll change, so with the purple button here, we'll break it symmetry. We'll put that as a shoulder pad, like so. Maybe two of those. So just fire and repeat. And then we'll take this arm here, which again, nothing different than we haven't done before in the old tutorial. I keep stressing that you must find that old tutorial and have a look at that, or have a look at Southern GFX YouTube channel, and you'll find all of these tutorials available around there. And obviously you can just follow in the magazine if that helps. So that's the bicep. What I might do is, because it's so big, I'm going to give it two pistons like that. That means it looks like the bicep is huge. And then we want a lot of this kind of machinery here, so we can repeat what we've got. So this is going to be, this is almost like cooling fans on the back of it. We'll group that, that's his forearm. Like so. And keep it away from the main one for now. And the reason I've done that is because I want to keep it separate and be able to then group it back again. You'll see exactly what I mean in a moment. So we just want to keep grouping these bits. We don't want to keep getting involved with this bit here. You can obviously make sure that's grouped, so that gives you the ability to move the arm as one chunk. Again, I'm just going to take a photograph. Because this is now focusing solely on the forearm. Let's take it from different angles. In fact, let's move it out over here so that it just shows you can build your components in different locations. Bring the arm out. Put them both back. And now here, at the front of the arm is where we're going to build the, let's just get this bit here. So, front of the arm now is where we're going to add in the rockets. So what I'm going to do is use a radial symmetry, which is a little bit different. So let's just have a look at that. We've got the rocket. Let's pick a grey again for a start, and we'll do what will we do? We'll use volume tool, polar symmetry. I'm just checking if there's, yeah, polar symmetry, so we'll do 6 of those, and we'll do it planar. Okay, so let's try that. Let's just see what we get. So we want it this way, don't we? So I'm using a half press on the trigger on the non-dominant hand. I have to realign the arm, as you can see, it wasn't aligned properly. So I've got to align it with this blue line here. It means the rockets are facing forward exactly as I'd want them. There we go. And I'm basically going to draw what will become the machinery that holds the rockets. And because it's got polar symmetry on, you can see you're getting really cool effects straight away. We can bring that down. That's section 1 done. And now we'll do an undercarriage that will support the rocket. Like so. That's great. And we'll actually use, we don't even need to remake a rocket, we'll just use a group assembly like this perhaps. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place 6 rockets on these. 1, and I'm not doing this symmetrically because I'm just going to do it by hand, but try and line them up in the same sort of way. Where there's a problem with the cables lining up, then we'll just go in and we'll do a different kind of cable assembly here, so it looks like they're all joined. And when you render that, you'll see that that gives you a crazy amount of visual interest because it gives you lots of shadows around the back of the rockets, etc. Again, not mechanically accurate, but really does give you a really cool visual look. And the minute you start rendering this, you'll see what I mean if you haven't already from the last tutorial. There we go. Now they are absolutely huge, aren't they? So what I might do is take that entire assembly and shrink it down. So it looks like what I was going for is kind of fingers. For some reason it wasn't duplicating across, so I've done it manually. And then what we'll do is we'll put some extra we'll do it like these are rods, so we'll change that to the metal, put that inside there so it looks like it's hydraulics, put some pins on it, group them, and that gives us almost like a set of, as if it's going to pull that back. And we'll do the same, actually we'll just add a few of them just for on the bottom and the top. It looks like you can control the rockets that way. And then maybe just one as an extra on his bicep there. So there you go, you've now got an extra set of weaponry. You've got the rocket launcher on the back, which is hopefully all grouped, which it is. So if you hold down your grip and pull back and bring this tool out here, this is a rotation tool, so if you hover over it, like so, oops, did the wrong one, hover over it, just want the whole group, don't I? So let's make sure we've got the entire group. Keep hovering over until you've got the entire group, and then we'll do that again, but we'll do it from here. Get it in the center, a little bit fiddly. Hold down the grip, flick with your thumb till it goes to the round, and now you can do it like that. Now as it happens we picked the wrong one, so let's make sure we're on the right one. Get the whole assembly again, I'll get it in a moment. Just take a minute to get your head around this. Flick with your thumb, fire with the trigger, there you go. So now you've got the rocket launcher is obviously able to, and you can rotate it left and right as well if you